Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Stay on the topic or origin of Islam as pertaining to religion before Islam. Based on Islam has been from the beginning, but being as an organized religion started just 1400 years ago by Imam Muhammad. And I want to clarify something which I'm still on the messiahship or sonship of Jesus Christ. I said before that in the previous part that Jesus was never accused of being the Son of God in his lifetime. Rather, he was accused of being the King of Israel because there will not be two kings in a kingdom according to how they view it. Because any other king coming after the elected king is a treason, and that king must go for it. That is why he was being sentenced by the Pontius Pilate and also the Caiaphas, which is the priest, the chief priest of Israel, of Jerusalem. So observing the fact that how was Jesus classified? Was he the son as being used today by our Christian brethren? When we praise Jesus Christ, they will say it's the Son of God, or they will say it's God Himself. But in three, some say it's with the Father, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, or in three, or some say it's the Son of God. Basically, majority of the Christians agree the fact that they claim that Jesus was the Son of God. We have to clarify this. How is it the Son of God? Well, it's Son of God that Mary, who was the mother, as said in the Bible book of Luke chapter 1, down from 22 to down to 28, 29, 30, 40, saying that Mary, having been filled with the Spirit, or an angel, Gabriel, visited her and said, "You have a son, and there you name him Jesus, the Messiah, the Christ." Now, observe that was there any sexual intercourse between Mary and God? No. Rather, God sent an angel to whom? To Mary. Now, that led to a child. And when the angel gave the glad tidings to Mary, then the Holy Spirit overshadowed her, and she conceived of a child, and there she gave birth after the required months of delivery. Then she named him what? Jesus. Now, some say he named him Emmanuel, God with us. Now, I had encountered a brother recently named Jeremiah, a good Christian from the Church of the Winners. And he asked me why Muslims deny the concept of God, of Jesus Christ. Say Jesus, that they believe Jesus is the Son of God, that is God Himself, and also He's the one who created everything. I looked at him and I said, because I have a lot of discussion on that, I will not argue on the issue of who Jesus was or who He is currently. So I asked him, how do you view your father, Pa Adeboye? Is he your father? He said, yes, my father in the Lord. And I asked him, oh, if he's your father in the Lord, that means not mistaking, may be that he himself had intercourse with your mother. So he got furious and he was angry to the extent that he never talked to me for some days. That shows that having that thought in his heart, he never believed what I said would come out, because he would not believe that I would say such a thing. Why would I say that Adeboye had intercourse with his mother beside his own biological father? That shows that when you assume what doesn't befit you, why you put that assumption to whom? To Jesus Christ, respect of God. That means it's a blasphemy. Whatever you don't accept for yourself, but you call him father, you call Padebo father or Padepo father, but cannot assume the fact that he is a father based on one who has sexual or biological interaction with his mother. That shows father in that sense could be spiritual or figurative. Similarly, that will happen to Jesus Christ. Let's examine what the Bible tells us. Was he actually son by birth, that God came and slept with Mary and the end of the day, and he had a child, Jesus? Let's examine from the book. Because I will not bring the Quran, because if I bring the Quran, it's not biased. But Allah has already addressed the fact in verse 171, the verse and in this chapter, Surah An-Nisa, where Allah addresses the people of the book, the Christians, saying, Ya ahl kitab la taqulu fi dinikum wa la taqulu fi dinikum la taqulu ala Allahi la haqqa. Do not say against Allah except true. إنما مسيح عيسى ابن مريم رسول الله, only messenger, only the Messiah, Jesus Christ, is nothing but a messenger. وكلمته ألقاها إلى مريم, and the word he has thrown unto Mary, وروح منه, and the spirit from him. And after he had said that, he said, فَآمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ, believe in Allah and His Messenger. وَتَقُولُوا ثَلَاثًا, don't say three. انتهوا خير لكم. This is from it is better for you. سبحانه يقول له ولد. There's not for him any child. Glory be to Allah that He has a child. وَلَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ, because He has dominion over heaven and the earth. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ وَكِيلًا. So this is Allah for. He has all the dominion and socialized disposal of everything. So with this verse, we have it in the back of our mind that we do not accept any child that Allah has given birth to a child biologically, just as the brother who encountered Jeremiah saying that his father, therefore, is not a biological father, rather is a spiritual father. So let's look up from the Bible to examine, did Jesus Christ claim to be a son through birth of God, or was he just son spiritually, as was said earlier previously in the Old Testament, where some people were called sons of God? Like example, we see that in the book of James chapter 6, verse 4, that those people who came down from heaven in the form of angels, they were called sons of God. They slept with the women on earth and they gave birth to giants called the Nephilim. Or was he the same son that was said by book of Job chapter 1, verse 6 and 7, when the all angels represented themselves before God, and they were called the sons of God, present before God, and Satan was included? That means Satan was a son of God. Is it by birth, or by because God Himself chose them to be sons due to their closeness or proximity? Now we look at also from the book of Jeremiah 31, verse 7. It was said that 7 to 9. It was said that God addresses the Israelites, saying they are His children, that He is the father of them, and His firstborn was whom? Ephraim. Was this same son that was said by David when God looked up to David? That was book of Psalm chapter 2, verse 7. And He said, "Oh, David, who is the Holy One of Zion." Now, he said David was the Holy One of the Mount Hill of Zion, that he has become my son, begotten. Now, the word was used there was begotten, that he is my son who I had begotten. Now, David became son of God. Immediately, he became the Holy One and King of Israel, the Mount Zion, King of Zion. Now, with that, he said that is when the transformation took place. He is now the son, begotten. Due to the fact he became close to God. That's the proximity here. That he is to obey God, due to his obedience, became son. Was it that of when Jesus Christ was preaching? What he said that according to him, when he talked about those beatitudes, the beatitude he mentioned, he said in the book of Mark chapter 5, verse 9, he said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." That means if I decide to be a peacemaker, I will be among the sons of God. If I decide to make peace on earth, I'll become among the sons of God. Similarly, Jesus was, when he was addressing the Jews, the book of Mark chapter 12, verse 17, he said to them that, "Oh, Jews, that is recorded in the book of Isaiah concerning me." Concerning whom? Me. "That thy servant, whom thou hast chosen, the beloved, and he has bestowed a spirit upon him, to whom to do a greater works, by healing the sick, raising the dead, and spreading his message, and make people to see God in his manifestation." So what was that? That he claimed to be servant, chosen. And when you are a servant chosen, automatically you become a son, begotten. As was said in the book of John 3, verse 16, that many of our Christian brothers use as a gun defense in terms of defending their faith, when they would say that for God so loved the world. And it is obvious that many of our younger, tender Christians, those of the children in the Lord, you see that they memorize this verse as a defense to prove the point that Jesus is the Son of God. What did they say? "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life." And we see the word used was the only begotten Son. That's when some Christians who even were scholars will ask, what does it mean? They will say that God had intercourse with Mary that night when he overshadowed her, when the angel Gabriel came to her, informing her about the glad tidings of a son, that the Holy Spirit came out for the shadow of her, and there that process is intercourse between God and Mary. God forbid. That was not what it says. What does it say? It says that the only begotten, the Greek word was what? Ton monogenes. Ton monogenes means what? the only begotten. And it was not just used precisely on that verse. It was used in Hebrew chapter 11 verse 17. If you go to Hebrew chapter 11 verse 17, we see from there when Apostle Paul was describing the faith of Abraham. He said, by faith, Abraham took his only begotten son, who was the Isaac, for sacrifice. And we know that Abraham was not Abraham's son. Were two. We having Ishmael and Isaac. Why is the word only begotten son? Because this is the one who he loves. That is the reason. When you love someone sincerely in the Bible, we use the word in the Greek word of son. Most cases, he used pasa. When you say pass, pass, or sometimes this was son. Now, in the Hebrew word, it's called Bernard. No, that's the son. Or, like example, we say Benjamin, the son of the right hand. We see that when we say Benjamin, the son of the right hand, the Jews, when they use the word Benjamin, the son of the right, it doesn't mean that the right hand gave birth to the son, because the right hand cannot give birth biologically. But what does it mean? That's the one that is close to the right hand. Proximity. That was just was talking about proximity when he used the word son for himself. That was why in the book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 27, it was said that Jesus was called the servant of God. Similarly, we Muslims do the same. We see that when we call Jesus, we say he's a servant of God. We call him the holy servant, because that was what was said by Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 1, which Jesus said, he confirmed Matthew chapter 12, verse 17, 18, that when he said the servant chosen by God and the one beloved, that means when you love someone, you become close to him, you are considered to be son. That's why in the Quran, it mentions Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 2, verse 177. How was it say? It's used the word Ibn Sabil. When you say Ibn Sabil, it means the son of the road. When we check the meaning of the son of the road, it means the wayfarer, the one who always walk by foot on the road, always travel. So they are called Ibn Sabil or Ibn Sabil, son of the road. Doesn't mean that the road gave birth to his son. It's the same thing. It's just figurative, nothing so literal, nothing literal yet. That's when Jesus was using himself, so doesn't mean God gave birth to him. No, it means it was because Job chapter 1, verse 6, 7, this, the angels were called sons. Even Satan was called sons of God. Even the same, the Mark chapter 5, verse 9, when it said, be the peacemakers like me, can be peacemaker, the son of God. Similarly, look at Matthew chapter 6, verse 9. Ask to the Christians, gather yourself and pray to God, that pray to your Father who is in heaven. Who are our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That if I pray to our Father, and I assume myself to be Son, who is addressing our Father. Just see the great sugar sisters. Now, Allah continue. So this is how we need to understand the fact that God himself is figuratively Father, as Jesus explained. So this is exactly what the Bible tells us. Thank you very much. When I come to the next part, I will explain the miracles of Jesus Christ that we Muslims believe in. Believe in the miracles of Jesus Christ, because it's obvious that as a Muslim, you have to believe in the miracles of Jesus Christ.